Okay, the cards have been cleansed. And we're going to put out the birthday flame and relight it with the intentions for Tom's year. Protect and bless. Protect and bless. Okay, what does Tom have waiting in his future over the next year? Tonight's a super moon. Heidi requested that we do this on a super powerful moon, and it's just starting to come up over the tree line. For Kaylin's reading, it was a little bit too light, and it hadn't peaked in the sky yet, but it's heading up. It's going to be beautiful. It's a really clear night tonight. What does Tom have in store for the next year? In the past position, you got, here he is. It's the Page of Wands. Isn't that, how strange? Kaylin had the Knight of Wands, but I read to her about the Page of Wands. So we have to keep that in mind, okay? In the present, let's hold this up so you can see it. It's the Eight of Cups. Wait, this was the same one that Kaylin had. That was in her past. If I burn myself on these one more time. And in the future, it's the Five of Wands. Bring this closer. Makes you want to say double, double boil, toil and trouble, cauldron burn and fire bubble. So it's Five of Wands, and that's a future. And that's a really cool card. I've never gotten this one before, so I'm excited to look at that one. Okay, so let's start with your past. Past is the Page of Wands, but this is a different deck, so the card is represented differently. You have a young person, and they're taking off. They're going somewhere. They've got their little hobo bag, their broom, their wand. Seems lighthearted. You know, you've got the flowers blooming, the cat's kind of sassing him, and it's an orange cat. And then you've got the salamander that's in the middle of the walkway. It almost seems like he's forging his way somewhere. But the cat's going back. She's saying, not a good idea. But it's not a black cat. It's an orange cat. So I wouldn't take what it has to say that seriously. And you have a fire sign. You have a salamander there in the road. And it's fall, because you can see the leaves are turning. And these trees are have turned. Early fall, like September. So He wants to go somewhere, but she won't go with him. Let's read about this one. Page of Wands. Now, I know I read to you about this already, but it's in a completely different context. New beginnings can be both exciting and frightening. It can be intimidating to start on a new path, but inspiration and passion can help you take that first step. Now remember, this is in a past spot in your life. This is not your present or future. There is nothing more intimidating than starting something completely new and different. The Page of Wands knows this. While he's a tiny bit frightened, he isn't going to let that fear stop him from following the exciting new path that lies before him. If you've been waiting for a sign that it's time for you to follow a new path, this probably is. The page can also represent someone young and eager in your life, perhaps a child whose time has come to fly the nest, or even someone young at heart who is simply ready to embark on a whole new life. Things to consider. The pages are often those in need of your help and guidance, or they can help you along your path, though not in as powerful a way as a knight, a queen, or a king. That doesn't mean they can't be important, though. The Page of Wands represents eagerness and enthusiasm, and also who couldn't use more of that? Perhaps it's just time to look at the paths you might be missing due to fear or hesitation and give yourself the boost you've been waiting for. I'm not getting a lot from that, but what I am getting is that I mistakenly told you about the page earlier. So that was Kaylin's theme card for the year. And my misrepresentation of it was the Page of Wands, which is in the past for you, Tom. We're going to keep looking, but part of me thinks it's a representation of how we all go through different things at different times. Sometimes it has to do with age. Sometimes it just has to do with life circumstance. You're not always in the same frame of mind as your mate. Okay, for the present, it's the Eight of Cups. So this was the one that Kaylin had that was wandering away in her past. So for you, Tom, in your present, you're turning away from something that seems lucrative or useful. And it's like you're picking up your toys and you're going home. You don't want to play there anymore. And I had said in Kaylin's reading that this card reminded me of divorce, but I don't get that feeling from this one at all. This, I feel, is indignant. So she's pissed. She's like, if they can't treat me the way I'm supposed to be treated, then I'm leaving because I have a lot of good stuff. So that's your present. And once again, you've got the 5 and the 3, which I know makes 8, but that's why they're like that. There's 8 cups, but they're grouped that way for a reason. May 3rd. Okay. And then, and this is one I'm excited to find out more about, which I burnt myself on. This is the Five of Wands. So you have 5 witches cackling, enjoying each other's company. I think, wait a minute. Oh, here we go. I'm going to burn myself with a candle again. These two are chatting. These two are chatting. This one has a wand. Oh, they all have wands. But this one looks really oh, I don't know. Her face looks irritated too. They're not happy. They've got their wands out. They're creating something. And all their cats are very satisfied. There's one for each one of them, and one in every color. This strikes me as passion, creative passion. Like you're taking something negative and turning it into something positive. Let's read what this one says. 5 of Wands. You guys have got quite a few wands here. It's funny, I get the same cards all the time, so it's interesting because like most of these I've never had before. Okay, so the theme of the card is I know best. No, I do. Sometimes it's hard to work with other people. Other times it's impossible. These witches are the best of friends, and all of them are skillful and knowledgeable. Just think of what they could achieve if they could actually cooperate. Unfortunately, each one is sure that she has the best recipe or knows the most powerful ingredients or in which direction to stir the pot. Now they're so busy arguing that nobody is stirring the pot, and you can almost see the explosion that's sure to come. Let's hope that they come to their senses in time and remember that they achieve much more working together if they can all just stop trying to be the one who is right. Things to consider. If the 5 of Wands shows up in your reading, it probably means that you're dealing with some kind of chaotic situation involving other people. Family, coworkers, friends, whoever it is, they clearly aren't playing nice together. Are you? Maybe you can be the peacemaker, the one who helps everyone come together in a more productive way. Maybe this is a situation that can't be resolved and you would be better off walking away. Sadly, you can't make other people behave reasonably. But you can make sure that you aren't making things worse by letting your ego or pride get in the way of cooperation. You wouldn't do that, would you? So, here we have walking away. And then in your future, it's showing that this disagreement continues on. That might not mean in your future. That might mean in the future of whatever it was you were doing that you walked away from. So then I would say good call. But also, I feel like it's just a very passionate card. And so if you had a big feeling when you left whatever you left, taking that drive and energy will bring you what you want. But just make sure that you pay attention to what you're making. Okay, so your spirit animal. the hummingbird. It's beautiful. Okay, so the hummingbird it's also an air sign like the bee was, and like Kennedy's firefly. Let's see if I can find it in here. Here it is. Okay. Positive, enthusiastic, spiritually resourceful. Inside the tiny hummingbird resides an endless well of energy and positivity. The hummingbird's secret is that it learned where to gather nectar, and it returns to these sources daily for nourishment and rejuvenation. This sacred elixir springs from many sources, but usually involves nature, creativity, and exploring spirituality. Follow the way of the hummingbird, and you cannot go wrong. Every droplet of life becomes sweet, every moment worth savoring. When you're in balance, you're smart, curious, and love to learn. When you're out of balance, you're pushy, inconsistent, and sharp. To bring things into balance, take a class. Okay, and now what is Tom's card, his theme card for the year? So, look for the hummingbird to be reaching out to you to give you direction. Okay, here's another wand. Guys, we're big on these. It's the Six of Wands. And if you take a look at the picture, it's of a beautiful red-haired woman. And she's sitting there looking very, I don't know. Don't burn my card. Thoughtful, serene, and a little bit mischievous. She looks like she might be up to something. So let's find out about the Six of Wands. Five of Wands, the Six of Wands. This is your theme card. Six of Wands. Victory is sweet, but no one achieves success completely on their own. It's good to be recognized for our achievements. It's also good to be aware of how we got to where we are now. Everyone is so proud of the witch in this picture. She's clearly done something momentous and is properly rewarded for her achievements. But you can tell that she is still humble, maybe even a little uncomfortable with all the attention. This witch knows that she's part of a community and that anything she does reflects at least as much on those around her as it does on her own efforts. She's pleased to be recognized, but finds just as much pleasure in sharing the moment with those who helped her get to this place. Things to consider. The Six of Wands is a sign that you are doing something right, or soon will be recognized for your efforts. Hooray for you! Who should you be thanking for helping you? Or if this card refers to someone else in the reading, maybe you should be putting yourself on the back. I'm sorry. This is hard to read with the flames. Maybe you should be patting yourself on the back for aiding in another's achievement. Either way, the Six of Wands is always a positive indicator. Hooray. So, to have that as your theme card for the year is a very positive thing. Hopefully this was fun for you guys and gave you something to think about. Happy birthday.